to movie reviews for you. Sometimes, you come across a movie that you're really excited about, and sometimes you come across movies that you just don't really expect that much from them, but they turn out to be like a little hidden gem of a movie that you might find really, really enjoyable. Maybe not everybody, but you do. So the first movie, Age of Ultron, The Avengers. I went to the cinemas to go watch this movie, and I really, really enjoyed watching the movie. It was just action from the get-go. It was everything that you would expect from the movie, and it was very, very enjoyable. So, Captain America, I really, really enjoy his movies, especially the last one. I thought that was really, really good. Iron Man, the Hulk, all of these characters are pretty well developed. For me, the movie was a kind of like a little bit of a letdown, only a slight letdown, in that I kind of expected Ultron to be more kind of aggressive in that, a real bad guy. And even though he was a bad guy, and I guess they probably had to tone down the movie to cater for all audiences, I felt that it was kind of a little comical, a little strange. I really enjoyed I think it was James Spader who voiced the character. I really enjoyed his voice. I love the makeup of him and how he looked. I think he looked fantastic. And the first scene where he come out kind of all broken and just put himself together, I thought that was quite a good scene to sort of give the character some development. And I loved the beginning on how instantly he kind of just took over the whole Iron Man lab and sort of built himself up. I kind of really, really enjoyed that part of his character. But I kind of assumed, I guess, watching movies like Terminator and Skynet, you kind of think that he would have just went a little more global but anyway, the new character, the guy with the thing in his head or the thing in his heart or whatever, he's interesting, but not much happened with him. The other thing that the poor writer is getting hammered over is the love interest between Black Widow and the Hulk. I kind of thought it was a little strange, but the one aspect that I kind of liked about that is you got a little bit more of a history from Black Widow on, who she was and how she became who she was, because she hasn't had that much character development. So my guess is they're trying to give him like a little bit of character development. Hawkeye, I really enjoyed Hawkeye in the movie and him going back to his house and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for sure. Maybe a 7.8. But anyway, really, really enjoyable movie. Just can't go wrong. And I recommend that you go watch it. I hope I didn't give too many spoilers away. I did that last time. Anyway, the next movie that I'm going to talk about, The Kingsman, The Secret Service. Now, this is one of those little hidden gems of a movie that, people talk about it being a really, really good movie, but it's hard to comprehend until you actually watch it. And I always like to go to Internet Movie Database and just check out, what the review says on there. And they referred to it like old school Terminator, old school Die Hard, old school Rambo, where nothing was held back. Back in the old day where R-rated was R-rated, it wasn't designed for kids. And so I went into this movie with a little bit of expectation, but not a lot of expectation. Like, I try not to build myself up too much because I don't want to be let down by the movie. So the director is a director that did Kick-Ass. Now, if you like Kick-Ass, in that Kick-Ass was kind of like an original take on the superhero. It wasn't a big blockbuster Hollywood movie. It was just something that was a unique spin on something that's been done before, but it was done in a way that was really, really enjoyable. And I think many people will say Kick-Ass was a great movie. Well, Kick-Ass would suit a large range of audience when the Kingsman Secret Service is not designed for that range of audience. It's designed as an R-rated movie. Let me start. The main character that started off the movie, the English guy, Colin Firth, I think his name is. I see comments saying that he does romantic movies and doesn't do action movies. Man, he played his part to a T. He was fantastic. And I really, really enjoyed his character. So the whole premise of the movie is like a James Bond style movie. But it's kind of where nothing's held back. Everything is just out there. And it's enjoyable, it's sort of funny, it's got some great action scenes in it that aren't like big over-the-top action scenes. They're just a little bit more simplistic, raw, in-your-face action. And, you have a little bit of character development. The young guy that played the main young guy in the movie, I thought he did a fantastic job. And at the end of the movie, he just looked the part. It has action in it that is unique, different, original, done before, in your face. It's just pure entertaining action. You don't take it serious. And I strongly recommend going to watch this movie if you've seen Kick-Ass. It's just a pure entertaining action style movie, not over the top. It's just has its own style to it, like Kick-Ass. So I'd strongly recommend going to watch it if you liked Kick-Ass, and if you like the old school action movies where nothing's really held back. Go for it. On that part, we're going to talk about samurai movies. I always had a big fan for samurai movies. I have this memory in my early adulthood, we'll just say, of a samurai movie where there was a samurai and he had like a young kid, and there was a cart that he would push along. And there was a scene in the movie where he would push the cart down a hill, and the cart had like daggers or swords that stuck out from it. Or maybe they spun with the wheels or something like that. And the kid was in the cart, and it would just chop off all of the feet of the offending samurais. Just a memory of stuff. But anyway, samurai movies are a bit of a favourite of mine. Jet Li, I've been a huge fan of his early wushu type movies, kung fu, wushu, stuff like that. But I want to just put a little reminder in for people. If you haven't seen the movie 13 Assassins, it goes along the whole story of like 7 samurais or 7 assassins or something like that, where a group of good guys band together to stop a group of bad guys. Pretty simple type story. But this movie was done absolutely to a T. It has that classic 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s style samurai action. It's a little bit over the top in some areas, but it's also not over the top. And it has, the movie is directed, the characters, the cinematography, and the way that the whole movie looks is one of the best samurai movies probably ever made. Not the best. I'm not saying it's the best. But, if you were to put like a top 30 movies together, a top 20 movies together, I believe that it should be included in that list of movies. And there's one scene in that movie that you will never, ever forget. And that's a part that makes that movie so special, in that it portrays the emotion that, these characters are doing and what they're willing to do to stop someone that's done and is doing things that aren't very nice. And so it captures that, that courage, that heart, that character that inspires people. And I just want to put a little word out for 13 Assassins, one of my all-time favourite samurai movies. Thank you, and don't forget to watch for the fireworks in The Kingsman.